Making my way through the darkness, a million eyes on me. I don't care, I don't care. Making my way through the spewing, sticking it out just to see. I don't care, I don't care. The moment's come now, so take it. To fight for what I believe, 'cause I can, yeah I can.
So we are on session 38, my friends. It's been It'll be 2 years in February. We've been doing this for 2 years, almost.
It's really 2. It feels like it's just been like 1 and a bit.
I know.
2 years in February.
Huh.
We're getting close. And before we start, I do also want to say thank you to Rain for joining us for those 3 episodes. Very fun time. Emotionally traumatizing, of course. So, last time on Road to Arlathan, with Knight Commander Salvatore Pelletier and the Reformed Templars at their side, the party defended the Viscount's castle against the threat of the abomination that Bass had become. However, the battle did not come easily. While the rest of the party fought off the creature, Delia stayed out of sight, making sure that no harm came to Varric. At the same time, Clay searched for Diani, knowing she was locked up somewhere within the old guard barracks. Finding and freeing her, the two joined their friends in battle. The party watched as Templar after Templar was felled before them, but the abomination was not some completely mindless monster. Baz set her sights on the mages of the party, targeting them for their magic. Asira was the first to fall, meeting Falandine once more in the Fade. However, to Lila's relief, the Elvhen god used his magic to send her soul back to the realm of the living. Scooping up the Canary, Lila managed to get her friend away to safety, but the abomination turned to her next target. With a disintegration spell, Diani was reduced to a pile of dust. As Bronwyn's anguished screams echoed through the castle, Ashara's final arrow flew true and finally slayed the abomination. Frantic, Bronwyn reached for Dirthaman's mirror from her pack and called out to Falandine, begging for the god to bring Diani back. However, he had already done so. Hearing a pounding on the closed door of the room Diani had been in earlier, Bronwyn opened the door to find the elf completely unscathed. However, Diani had no memory of her death or the battle. While Bronwyn and Clay were tearfully reunited with Diani, Lila managed to bust her way into Varric's room and, with the help of Delia and Asira, snuck him out of the castle with plans to reconvene with the rest of the party at the Hanged Man. So, you all return to the tavern. And Lila, as soon as you enter, Aveline is immediately coming towards you to help you with Varric. She's definitely not like trying to step on any toes or anything, and you get the sense that she's truly just worried about him, as they've been friends for years. She shows you to her own private room and helps you get Varric settled in there as the rest of the party begins to arrive and relay what happened in the castle to Donick. And when you do finally step away to let Varric rest, they are all waiting outside the door.
Like, everyone's there?
Unless anyone doesn't want to be there.
I'm still like patting Diani down, like trying, like she's here, she's okay, she's not dust kind of thing.
Quick question.
And you can, like, on occasion, I'm also like looking at Asira, like she's also here. Okay. Like not the physical pat down, but still there's like the mental, like, okay, they're alive.
Question?
Yeah, quick question for both Lila and Asira, because I know we haven't rested yet. How hurt do both of you look?
Let's see.
She's just got scratches. She doesn't look bad at all.
I was gonna say Asira's pretty beat to shit.
All right. If Lila doesn't look like she's hurt too badly before she can start screaming at everyone, Ashar is going to turn to Asira, and I'm going to cast 2 cure wounds at 2nd level each on Asira. So before Lila can start screaming, I'm just going to turn to the Kunari and start healing her.
I would like to say that Diani would try to help, but I don't think that she has a free hand right now. So
Probably not.
She does not.
This is Ashara's way to hopefully mitigate being screamed at a little bit, but also because Asira needs help. So let me pull up my sheet real quick. Your wounds is 2d8 plus something. Sheet, please. 2d8 plus 2. All right, I'll roll for that in a second. We can continue while I roll.
I think Delia is keeping like sentinel watch over Varric's space, whether that's him or just the room. I think she's kind of like, okay, what? Just keeping eyes on everything.
Does Aveline ask anything about this?
No, she's more just glad to have Varric close and safe after everything that they've been through over the past few months.
Asira, you heal 23 points total.
Awesome, thank you.
Shockingly, I think her first move is actually when Diani walks up to say, since he's had the cure, Diani, do you think there's any chance that healing magic would help speed up his recovery?
She is a little confused at first because I don't believe that she was out when I don't think she knows that Lila has Varric. Pretty sure she was still dead when that happened. But she will nod and well, I'll certainly try. May I?
Who's that question directed at?
Lila. She's
the moment she asked that, she would just kind of turn to Aveline.
Aveline just nods and steps aside, kind of gesturing to the door.
Diani will squeeze both Bronwyn and Clay's hands and then head in to try. I need to look at my spells though.
So yeah, when you walk in, it's basically Varric's room in the Hanged Man that he's staying in right now. Yeah.
How bad does he look?
He's very pale. There is sweat on his brow. His breathing is slightly labored but even, and he's just unconscious in bed.
I have a spell that can help with conditions rather than healing. I think that I would like to try that first.
Okay.
Which is lesser restoration.
Okay. I'm trying to think. Hold on. Give me 2 seconds.
Sorry, I'm trying to make sure I don't have like the next step up from that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think I have it prepared. So yeah, lesser restoration.
Yeah. Just making sure which one is the follower. Okay. So you cast this spell, and a moment passes. His breathing pattern changes slightly before he slowly blinks his eyes open, looking up at you.
Shit. Yeah, Lila's gonna like rush over to the other side of him.
He's looking around. He's like, and sees her rushing towards her. He's like, "Easy, princess. Calm down."
She immediately rolls her eyes.
The minute
deep
that
sigh.
the minute that he opens his eyes, Gianni's going to step back to make room for Adeline and Delia as well.
Varrick's just kind of looking around. He's why am I here?
What better place to be?
I mean, you got a point. But what happened? Why? What?
Lila kind of like looks down at her feet and says, well, I made an executive decision that I didn't fully trust the Knight Commander.
Why not?
I didn't. He told me some lies about how he handled something with the alienage.
Oh, that sounds like it's pretty on brand for him, but he didn't do anything to hurt me, if that's what you're implying.
Well, I didn't know. And we can't lose you.
Ah, Princess, I didn't think you liked me all that much.
I trust you.
All right. Well, how's everything topside?
Not great. We have a cure and we gave it to, well, I mean, I suppose you can figure that out for yourself, given that you're speaking to us, but we have a cure and we gave it to the Knight Commander, and she's just going to kind of like slowly turn and look behind her at the crowd in the hallway. Some people made some interesting decisions, and I don't really know if he'll work with us at this point.
Basically, Kirkwall was Kirkwall, and not much has changed.
Sounds about right.
She just like grits her teeth and is like, oh, I don't know, Delia. I'm pretty sure it was the choice to bring in an abomination and to headbutt the Knight Commander. That might have done it.
Wait. I'm going to ignore the fact that you were just talking about an abomination. How do you two know each other?
So, funny story.
Sure it is.
Delia will sort of start in a very roundabout way. Like, she's like, it's not really that important. And then just be like, now who am I? I'm talking to Varrick, a fucking storyteller. Here's the details. And just like, so Tora and I found Aang and Iceberg, and I really like Aang at first. And like, just the whole shit.
Okay, and the people in the hallway?
Ashara will pop her head in and wave at Varrick.
Marigold!
Hey, Varrick.
How's it going?
Glad to see you're still with us.
Still trying to outdrink the bull?
I gave that up a long time ago. I'll never win.
Oh, yeah. I always betted against you. Not gonna lie.
Asshole.
But I'm your favorite asshole.
This is true. This is very true.
Varrick, are you saying that if we took you back to the Knight Commander, you wouldn't need us? Everything's fine?
I mean, yeah, he was just doing his job. I didn't realize he was gonna send the guards down here, but
He was.
they weren't doing much good in the gallows, so figured we could use the extra help down here.
She glanced over at Aveline, and I suppose I'm glad I was wrong. He just seemed to be. I guess then I can say that I felt he was making the best of the situation for himself, not for others. But if that's his greatest flaw, he's not alone in that, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely had his moments, but I've come to trust him.
Well, she glances over Dylan and just says, "Do you think we can sneak him back in?"
I think we could also just walk him to the front door at this point.
Yeah. She turns to
I
Varric.
don't know how much walking I can do right now.
As long as you're not gonna mention, as long as you're not gonna get us in trouble.
Now, why would I do that?
I don't know.
Oh, you mean with your mom?
Well, I didn't, but yeah, that too. Ah, make
a very nice
you
woman, I'll
met
give her
her
that.
now.
So what, you all came charging in just to help little old me?
A little more complicated than that. That's why I was there, but she just kind of shrugs her shoulders and puts out a hand to like help him up. Are you, and asks, do you think you're well enough?
Well, I'm willing to find out. That landed in my lap. Okay. So he takes the covers off and grabs your arm and kind of pulls himself up out of bed. His legs are a little shaky at first. He holds on to the bed with his other hand, but he does manage to get up to his feet. All right, where's the party?
You're looking at them.
And you are?
I need to figure out where my dice went. I just realized I don't have dice.
Given that Julia shared like a very detailed story, she's going to run the introductions for everybody.
Cool.
Clay does say, Commander's son. He's just going to put that one out there.
Okay, all right. So then Lila just pauses and does like a comedy slow turn with horror on her face. What?
Clay now is just kind of like glances at Katie or at Katie. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Katie. How you doing? At Lila. And is like, right. Yeah. I figured Varric should know, but turns to the rest of the party. Commander's my father.
And she just whips back to Varric and says, "And you trust him?"
I don't know what him being his father has to do with any of this.
He can be overzealous sometimes.
I mean,
I guess
anything's
it's
better
always
than
so
Meredith,
terrible.
am I right?
That's one way of putting it, I suppose.
I feel like you're way more concerned about this than you need to be. I mean, he seems fine with it.
She's just gonna take a moment to fucking process because what?
Fine is a way to put it, certainly. It was a surprise to see what had happened here, but it's Kirkwall, so
It's Kirkwall. So you're from there, then?
unsurprising. Yeah. It's not a surprise that the cream of the crop is a shitty piece of this fucking mierda piece of shit bastard. Kind of quietly mutters to himself.
But Clay, then he's the one who's still trying to find you?
I don't know anymore. It's been a while. It's been months since I don't know if he's doing it anymore. He looked right at me. So I figure he probably doesn't recognize me, and that's enough for me. If you
Sure?
if Varric is comfortable with this man, he's having a more one-on-one basis with him, and if he's doing something right for once. How about this? If he fucks up again, then I'll drag his name through the mud. And then he puts his hand on Lila's shoulder. That's when we can try something like that together. But I don't know this man anymore. And if he's not,
and like pats his hand. Varric, you should talk with Cullen about this. He knows some of it, and I do not think.
So you're calling him by his name now and not his title.
more than that.
It's like our dear Nightingale owes me a few coins.
She like grabs Clay's hand from her shoulder and like flings it up like gently, but like really. Don't think that's really a conversation we need to have right now.
Oh, I think it's a great time.
Ashara just like, how much did you win?
50 sovereigns.
She's like clearly mad, but also like blushing bright red too at the same time. She immediately is like trying to like move on and like say a simple explanation of it. And then was like, I had no idea which words to use. Yes, Cullen and I are involved, but
Only involved?
should have known better. I should have known better. Just glares at the room in general, like she's blaming everyone for this situation.
I think I sense a new romance serial coming on. Soldier and the Captain. I'll come up with a better title.
She honestly just starts giggling, like covering her face and giggling. You know that Cullen would, I don't know what he'd do.
I never said I needed to publish it.
Always independent publishing.
You know what? He turns to Ashara and he's like, I'll write it, give it to Cassandra, and see how long it takes her to realize who it's about.
I'll make a bet with you.
Yeah.
You write it, and I give it less than we'll give it 2 weeks. 2 weeks. I'll give it 2 weeks.
I think it'll take her longer.
I don't know. She's pretty smart.
I think it'll take her to book 2.
She gives another sigh and holds out her arm and is like, can we just get out of here, please?
Who was that to? I didn't hear that.
Varric.
Yeah, I mean, we could take this back to the castle. I can get you folks set up with some rooms. I mean, it's a little crowded here, isn't it? Yes.
Diani is immediately nervous about the idea of going back. She was just locked up.
Clara is also going to chime in and be like, probably not the best idea.
Would love if we just get out of here.
What else did I miss?
Lila's face just drops again and is like, a lot of stupid choices. And the Knight Commander not being a great person. Not a good combination.
At which point Ashara is going to look at Lila and be like, I know I made a really dumb call back there, but I panicked and I had reason to. You know the mirror that we have that Bronwyn occasionally pulls out?
Yes.
In the past, it has shown us potential glimpses of the future. And in one of those futures that we saw, Diani was hurt very badly at the hands of the Templars.
Diani does not know about this vision.
No, Diani does not know about this. No one else knows
Whips
about
around to look at the Ashara, and then Clay, and then back to Ashara.
And so when you came up, and when I got the message from Diani in the closet, locked up, I panicked. And that's why I said what I said to Bronwyn.
And at the mention of Diani, to be honest, you can kind of tell halfway through, she stops listening to you. And she steps to the side, like towards Diani. And not threateningly, but like also not calmly. And probably gets a little too close for Bronwyn's comfort, but is not like hands up or anything. It's just stepping towards Diani. Says, I'm going to need you to cast your spiritual weapon.
Bronwyn steps between them. Not just like in a kind of like a protective stance kind of way. Like they can still have the conversation, but she's like getting there.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. Are they able to have this conversation over the top of Bronwyn's head?
Oh, yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
then she's going to fucking ignore that.
Yeah.
Continue
Ashara's
making
gonna step
really
into
eye contact.
Just Shara's gonna step in and like, listen, of all the things that we don't have time for right now, this is one of those things.
I'm sorry, we don't have time to find out whether one of the members of the party is with what I thought was our enemy.
Lila, the longer Varric's out of the castle, the sooner and the more angry the Templars are going to get. They're going to march on the alienage. They're going to.
Oh, I see. So now that I'm actually dealing with the fact that your sister might be a traitor, now we are suddenly worried about time and not making bets.
The entire time this conversation is happening, Diani just looks completely confused because she does not remember the fight at all. So,
and Lila knows that, right? She heard that.
Probably. I don't
I
remember.
don't think so. I think the only
Oh no, she wasn't there.
No,
You
I
were
think
going
the
to get
people who
buried.
knew were Ashara,
Yeah.
Bronwyn, and Clay.
Mm-hmm. So
The rest of us had left the keep.
She sees the confusion and doesn't understand it, and so instead just says again, go ahead, show everyone what your spiritual weapon is now.
She like looks between the three people who were there when she got out of the room, and I feel like I've missed something.
In Dalish, Ashara is going to say to Diani, your weapon changed, and it looks like him.
Her eyes go wide, and then her face goes very carefully blank, and she replies in Dalish to Ashara. He asked me to help the elves.
Lila just gets more furious at the Dalish and is going to turn between the two of them and say, this is not helping. More secrets is not helping.
Lila, I understand that you're angry. I understand that you're confused. I understand that some of us made bad decisions that made things worse. But now is not the time to do this.
I'm also not trying to keep secrets. She has no idea what happened in that fight.
She doesn't remember anything that happened.
And sometimes it's easier to hear an explanation in your own tongue.
Lila, the last thing I remember is you leaving to get me out. We had a deal.
Then why don't you cast it so you can see it yourself?
The moment people started yelling, Delia went down and got a drink at the bar.
I love her.
She's like, nope, I ain't dealing with this. Nope. So she's getting like nasty piss tasting beer and calling it a day.
And Ashara is also getting a little irritated, like kind of like dancing from foot to foot because she knows that the Templars are going to march on the alienage. And she's just gonna be like, I'll scout ahead to the castle, and she's gonna leave.
I mean, Lila doesn't move. She's like, at this point, she trusts Ashara, so Ashara can go all she wants.
Diani will take a step back so there is some more room between them and kind of nudge Bronwyn out of the way and will cast Spiritual Weapon.
So you cast the spell and you see this. Right now it's just magic. It hasn't fully taken form, but as it kind of rises up from the floor, swirls a little bit, you see limbs beginning to extend from it, but rather than standing upright into Bronwyn's form, it is the form of a wolf with 3 sets of eyes.
She genuinely looks surprised. And brings...
can I know I trust you, Seb, but can I perception roll that to see whether Lila believes it or not? Does that make sense?
Insight?
Insight, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, wrong thing. I always mix them up.
She like lifts her hand to touch where her Valicine had been.
So that's a natural one.
Lila doesn't.
She's pissed. She doesn't even catch she doesn't even catch the surprise because she's so pissed. Sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead, Seb.
No, you're fine. She touches her Valicine and or where it was on the puppies. Where they had been and where the scar is, and looks genuinely a little sad about this change despite everything.
So yeah, so Lila's to be staring at this thing that she wants to cut with her sword, to notice anything on Diani's face. And it's just like, what are we supposed to think from this? Diani, you literally replaced your girlfriend with him.
Bronwyn is like starting to talk, and then you say that second part, and her mouth closes.
Diani looks towards Bronwyn and is like, I didn't mean to.
It's okay.
Even if you didn't choose this form, doesn't this say something about what your loyalties are?
Magic is complicated.
From what I understand, magic wielded by someone, not against someone, but of their own, reveals them.
He asked me to warn the elves. So I did.
You're really going to try to tell me that that's all that's happened? He's asked you to warn the alienage, and that's enough to make it's a part of your magic change form?
He took my vows, son. I asked him to.
So have others, and they don't have allegiance to him.
We've been talking for a while. But
Lila, the elven gods, you can't trust their intentions. And if Diani didn't know, I wouldn't say that it was her fault. I'd say that it was Solas's. Look at Asira's face. Whose
No.
markings are on her face? I mean,
Diani's gonna put a hand out for Clay and shake her head. I want to help the elves. And he want if maybe I have been lying to myself as well, but he comes to my dreams sometimes and we talk. I asked him if I could help the elves, and he said to warn them to leave. So I went, and I don't think that the gods that we're supposed to be helping are helping.
I don't think so either. But you can't trust anything he says. And I thought you were smart enough to know that.
At this point, Varric, he kind of nudges at Asira and says, "Wait, they're all arguing about Chuckles."
Yeah. He's it's complicated.
With him, it usually is. I mean, if we couldn't stop him before, what makes you all think that you can stop him now? The Inquisition couldn't stop him.
Can we hear this? She's gonna turn to him and say, "So does that mean we don't try?"
I think it's the Inquisition's responsibility to try.
And she just kind of looks down at her armor like, yeah, that's kind of the point. That's what we're doing.
So the rest of these people are now members of the Inquisition?
She just like whips around and says, I don't know. I don't know what they are.
Well, if there's one thing I know about Solas, it's that he's always got a plan. So if Fawn's whatever the fuck wolf thing is a wolf now, there's definitely a reason for it.
Listen, we don't know who's good and bad. We're just trying to do the best that we can in this situation.
You're saying you don't know whether Solas is good or bad. You know what he told the Inquisitor. You know what his ultimate plan is. His plan is to destroy the Veil, which will kill everyone who does not have magic in their veins.
But that doesn't mean that everything he does is bad. No one is black and white like that, Lila.
He is doing everything as part of his plan. You didn't meet him.
Lila, he asked me to make sure that the Inquisitor was okay during the ball. He wanted me to make sure that she survived and she was okay. I don't think that
because she's an elf. And because he
Princess, you and I
in some
both know
twisted
that's not
way
the
loved
only
her.
reason.
What did Varric say? Sorry.
He said that they both know that's not the only reason.
Yes, and that. Although I don't know what kind of person would care about someone and then do that to them.
Love works in mysterious ways. You should know.
She just rolls her eyes.
it helps. I haven't done anything to hinder anything, just help the elves that we've found.
Gianni, you know I want that too. You know I want to protect everyone. You know I'm not just doing this because I care about my family or humans. I want everyone to be okay. That's
But
the
everyone
point.
isn't being treated the way elves are being treated. You cannot just assume
What if
that helping everyone is going to help everyone equally.
Diani didn't actually know about the like everyone's gonna die portion of this? I don't think that has ever come up about the actual like Solas's plan. Fun fact. She just kind of like reaches up for the braid that's not there anymore and lets her hand drop in. I don't know what's going to happen, but if I can help people, or if I can maybe make it so people don't die, then I would rather do that than work for a bunch of gods that don't care.
I'm not working for any gods. I'm working for the Inquisition.
And we're not.
Then why are you being sent anywhere with Inquisition resources and Inquisition trust?
Ask your Inquisitor.
I'm sorry, but I'm gonna go help them before this falls back on me.
And just go. And I'll do what actually.
What are you going to do,
I'll take
Lila?
Eric.
What needs to be done now?
We need to take Varric to the palace. We need to make sure the Knight Commander is going to work with him. And then we're leaving, or at least I am.
Does
Then we'll
Varric
meet
still
you.
look hurt? Like, is he still
Yeah,
like?
still very weak. He still looks a little like pale and sickly, but he's on his feet.
Gianni's gonna turn towards him. Can I make sure that you're able to make it there? Okay.
I mean, I won't say no to a little bit of help.
I will go ahead and looking at him with my healing background, do I know how much healing he might require, just so I know what level?
Medicine check.
Uh, 21.
Yeah, you are able to tell. Yes, Bree.
Well, I just have something after this scene is done. After Seb is done.
Yeah.
Or I guess during this scene.
I will cast whatever level Cure Wounds you think is appropriate. Since I am at full, mostly full spell slots. And I will tell
Level 2, I guess.
Okay. And I will tell Varric that it was very nice to meet you. And then Gianni's gonna go.
As Diani kind of turns away from Lila, Clay's gonna step closer to her and kind of put a very anxious hand on her elbow. Just kind of be like, leaving? Where? Where are you? You're
Just Skyhold, where I can. Are you who you're talking to? You said leaving.
I'm talking to you, to Lila.
That's what I thought. And then I was like, wait. Back to Skyhold where I can be of some use.
Lila, you are I mean, it's okay. Well, hold, no, it's not of use. It's more than that. I know that we haven't been very good friends, but it's what we consider you. You're not just part of a movement here.
I can't decide in my own head if Lila's able to raise one eyebrow. If she is raising one eyebrow. Clay, so far today, I've had someone punch me in the nose and multiple people yell at me and multiple people get in my face, all from the same party. So no, I don't really think that. She kind of like pauses. Don't really think that most of you see me as a friend. And I don't really understand the purpose of working with people who don't have the same goals.
I know it hasn't been fair to you. He looks down. He can't fight what you're saying in the slightest. He's been a part of all of that, so he knows how it seems. He just kind of looks down. I know what it took for you to come here with us. I know that you didn't want to begin with. And I get that. And now it's been shit. And now it's been fucking hell for you. And you don't understand us. And hell, I don't understand the way your mind works sometimes either. But that doesn't mean you're not my friend. And that doesn't mean I don't care for you. If going back to Skyhold is what makes you happy, then I understand. But I'm sorry.
I care about you, Clay. It's not about me being happy. It's about how am I supposed to trust any of you?
What we're doing, this whole shit fest that has been the last amount of months, we don't know what we're doing half the time either. I mean, we're just trying, and that's all we can do. We're just trying to figure out what to do and how to face Solas. And I know it doesn't make sense.
The conversation I just had, I don't think you get to say that to me because I don't think that they're in any way preparing to face Solas. I think Diani, and therefore you and Bronwyn, are looking to see what's the best way that we can help the elves right now. And I'm sorry, but I think you're wrong. Because even if right now you're helping, I don't believe that if the veil falls, that every elf's going to survive. A lot of you have not, she pauses and just like questions herself. A lot of them have not had magic in a very long time. Who knows what will happen?
He shrugs, he nods, he has no idea. He's human. He has no fucking clue. He doesn't know these gods. I don't think that you're wrong, but we're just trying to turn the tide. I don't know how, again, and I don't know. I don't know if you being there will help. I don't know if me being here helps. I don't know if he glances back at Diani and Bronwyn. I don't know if we're hurting the world. I don't know.
Where's Bronwyn right now?
She is with Diani, kind of like just like looking at Clay, waiting for him.
I have a follow-up question to that. Where is Bronwyn's pack?
Which one? The
Just her
mirror?
regular everyday pack with all of her shit in it.
She is on her shoulders. She didn't.
Cool.
Yeah.
So Bronwyn, you're with Diani, kind of waiting for Clay, and you feel on your back that your bag is shaking and vibrating, and there are these muffled shouts emanating from within the bag.
Hold on, everyone. I'm getting a FaceTime call. She's never experienced this before. So like at first she's like down at her bag, just like looking. And then she like opens it up and starts searching through to see what's going on in there.
You do find the mirror.
Yeah.
And as you take it out of your bag, you see green fog circling around the edges of the glass. Valendine's face stares back at you, bloody, beaten, and he's out of breath. There's a large bloody slash of claw marks across his face. And he glances back over his shoulder as you see him running. His image is very shaky. It's like the GoPro in your face as you're running. Like that's what you're seeing. And you can hear the snarling and barking of wolves not far behind him. And he says, Bronwyn, can you hear me?
What happened? What's going on?
He's coming after me. I don't know if it's him or them or who it is, but I'm in trouble. Please hurry.
Where are you?
In the fade. You need look, I know
out
it's
of the fade. I can't get to you.
It's unreasonable for me to have you come here, but I need you to help me.
What do you need? How do I help you?
You need to get to Arlathan Forest. You have to get there as soon as possible. You need to hurry before he comes after them too.
Valendiine. She is like aggressively like worried, like on her face. It's just get out of there.
I'm trying. He keeps glancing back over his shoulder.
Well, we can all hear this, right?
You can hear his shouting specifically because he is shouting. So all of you can hear him shouting.
She's going to come over and just yell, "Is it Solas?"
I don't know. His image.
Get yourself out of the fade. You have that magic. Go.
It's not working. His image blurs and shakes as he trips, falling over to the ground. And you watch as he kind of like struggles on his arms to get back to his feet, and he just kind of like reaches out towards your face in the mirror. Before he's suddenly wrenched away from view.
No, come back. Valendiine.
She just starts like as growls come closer.
Moving the mirror around as if she could like change the angle of where
it doesn't work like that, unfortunately.
And then she starts shaking it and like screaming for him.
You hear as the growls come closer until all you can see is the face of a black wolf with glowing red eyes. It lifts its head and lets out a howl as a crack splits across the glass of the mirror, splitting it in two. The howling is then completely cut off. The glass turns cloudy and it doesn't even reflect your own face.
I punch it.
It shatters more.
I look up at the rest of the group and I am crying.
Clay is coming over and he grabs the hand that you punched the mirror in, and he's just like holding on to try and keep her from punching something again.
We have to go.
Am I still there? Does this happen?
Yeah.
Okay. If having heard that, Gianni would have stopped before leaving. She will turn to Bronwyn and I know how to get there.
What do we need to do before we can go? We need to go now.
I just need to give the instructions to the image. Just need to tell them to go, and then we can leave.
Okay. And she's like wiping her eyes. Clay, will you go with Diani and I'll meet you back at the cabin?
Clay does glance at Lila really quickly, but he turns and he nods. I'll help.
Where is this?
Arlathan Forest.
Callie, is that a thing? Is
thing.
that a thing I know?
You regionally, having looked at maps, you would know that it is
It's by Antiva.
Yeah, it's up by Antiva and kind of in between Antiva and Tevinter. It's this large forest. The only thing you know about it is that the elves that live within the forest are more hostile than your typical elves.
We are also, I feel like you'd probably know this because you're in the Inquisition. It is very close to the war ground between the Kunari and the Winters. Like right next to it, basically.
He can't just go there.
Can't
Bronwyn,
you?
Bronwyn she kind of wants them to go, like Diani and Clay, since they have something important to get done.
You do that, but me saying that was a new character entering the chat. You look, and standing in the doorway is a very tall, pale elven man, bald head, wearing a wolf's pelt across his chest, standing there before you all. And that's where we're going to take a break. So, Solas enters the chat, standing there before you in his bald-headed glory. He turns to you, Diani, and just kind of gives you like a little wink.
She is smiling for the first time in like 3 days.
Bronwyn, who has no idea who this man is, just looks at him and goes, "Do we know you?"
Lila would be drawing her sword the moment she saw him, so just factor that in.
Julia's still drinking.
2 seconds.
Do we know you?
Between Diani and this guy, and just like
I see Lila wielding her sword, and I start to like reach back for my axe, but I'm not yet. But like
I'm gonna put a hand on Bronwyn's shoulder.
Thank goodness, because I was about to do that if nobody else did.
So Solas looks among all of you and says, I know you've no reason to trust me. And frankly, not really surprised by it.
Has he introduced himself yet?
He is not.
To quote,
Okay, cool.
to quote the meta, that Cecilia does not know Sarah, but it's like, trust you, I don't know you from manners.
Mm-hmm.
So how far is he?
He is standing down by Bronwyn and Diani.
So, yeah, I'm sorry, she's fucking charging at him.
Roll.
And I put the wolf.
Oh, a constitution?
Mhm.
Okay.
I would like to put
Constitution.
the wolf between Solas and Lila.
Okay.
What the fuck? Do I have inspiration?
I don't know. I think you might have used them all.
Oh, now you're saying that.
You used like 3 in the past couple sessions.
Well, that's the second natural one for the session.
Oh my god.
Kidding.
So, why are you wet? Why are you wet?
Maybe she
Okay.
went swimming.
So you come running forward with your sword, and he just kind of puts his hand up. And you're like holding your sword, struggling to keep a hold of it before it finally falls from your hands and clatters to the ground.
Clay is going to move. He's got his hand on his dagger and he's going to move kind of to Lila's side, like taking up a protective stance next to her, just in case. He still has no idea what's going on. He's just like, I didn't like that.
I would like to step to Solas's side.
I'm sorry, step to Solas' side, like step next to him. She growls
What do I roll?
and says, "You fucking traitor."
What do I need to roll to understand who this man is?
He'll
The
introduce
traitor
himself.
bit.
Just give
The
him a
traitor
moment.
bit did it for Clay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Varric reacting to Solas just waltzing into his old haunt.
So Varric just kind of like crosses his arms and says, "Well, Chuckles, you always were one for quite the entrance."
I rolled a 26, so I think I know what's going on.
Yeah, especially after Varric's words.
Yeah.
So did he just like stroll in the front door?
He appeared out of nowhere.
Okay.
Yeah. Where are you?
Where's Valentine?
She had gone down the stairs and was like on her way out to essentially go warn the alienage that shit's probably about to go down.
When did you leave?
Right before Diani. So I don't know, probably like maybe 5 minutes before all this happened.
Okay, so you're off just in the
Yeah.
middle of nowhere doing whatever. So let's do that pretty quick.
Basically, as far as that's concerned, if there's Templars on the street and it looks like she can't get anywhere, she's going to go back to the hangman because she's not going to get herself killed.
Yeah, so there are more Templars in Lowtown than normal, along with the guard patrols.
Give me 1 second. I'm going to roll a d20 here real quick. We'll see how smart she is. Yeah, she's not feeling brave. She's going to go back.
Cool. So you walk into the Hanged Man. You see Delia sitting at the bar. At the top of the stairs, you see the back of a bald head.
I'm going to flip a coin here real quick. Delia, how full is your cup?
I mean, it's probably full-ish. Like, I think she's been getting it refilled.
How heavy does the cup? Like, is it like a pewter cup? Is it like a clay mug?
I'd say it's probably the clay mug that Isabella gets whenever she's drinking at the Hanged Man, or that you can order as Hawk. I think it's just one of those like really crappy clay mugs.
Yeah.
Without a word, Ashara's going to walk up, take the mug, and I'm going
Rude.
to chuck it at the back of Solas's head.
You do that, and
He owes him one.
it happens as he raises his hand to stop Lila, and the cup like stops midair, like inches from his head, and just
Does the
falls
liquid stay
shatters
in
on the
it?
ground. What?
Does the liquid stay in the cup?
No, it shatters on the ground. So no matter what, there's.
But that
no
was my thing, is if it stops, Delia's going to try to catch it because it has ale in it.
Solas is too quick for you.
And then I'm going to try
Hearing the
to,
clatter on the ground, he does like glance back at you.
and I flip him off.
I was not finished with that.
All he does is he holds a hand up to you.
And she does walk up the stairs. I'll toss a coin to Delia, but as I do it, I'm going to be like, shit's going down up here.
She'll get a beer to go and go upstairs.
She's gonna need it. So
I would
he
like
does
to
step
know
aside to let you pass.
Diani's reaction to what Lila said.
I think at this point she is ignoring Lila. She is not, I don't want to say she's like standing next to him facing outward, like she's facing him. She just walked up to his side because she did ask him to come.
Bronwyn is like, you can tell she's like taking deep breaths to try to calm herself down. She's like trying to remain level-headed and is just like, where is Falendine?
He turns and looks at you and says, last I knew he was in the Fade.
And did you know this because you were sending someone to attack him?
I have no reason to, but as you've seen here in Kirkwall, my followers do not always act of my will.
Explain that.
Oh, it's a convenient excuse, Bronwyn. Because then anytime someone does something that someone else might be mad about, you can just say that your followers weren't doing what you said.
Lila.
Isn't that right, Solas?
Lila. Let him talk.
He's talked enough.
I've heard 2 words out of his mouth.
She's quiet, but she's clearly like, if it was possible for steam to actually come out of someone's ears, steam would be coming out of her ears.
What's happened here in Kirkwall was not something I had asked my followers to do. A small group of them came across a contaminant while traveling through Arlathan and decided to weaponize it in my name.
And why should we trust the and in Dalish she says god of trickery?
I do not claim to be a god, for one.
No, but you are a liar and a traitor.
The only people I've truly betrayed are my brothers and sisters.
You betrayed Alana.
And it is one of the greatest regrets I have in my life.
I won't blow my mic out, but she just shrieks at him.
I know you have every reason, Lila, to distrust me. And I will admit that you and I would never close. In fact, I hardly remember you at all. But
I certainly remember your smug, arrogant ass.
And I will say I was playing a part during my time with the Inquisition. But right now, my greatest concern is protecting this world from my siblings.
Alana told us what you said.
What did she tell you?
That you plan to tear down the veil.
This is only partially true.
You're just going to tear down half of it?
My plan was to destroy the veil, but also create a new one. One that would allow the benevolent spirits of the Fade to pass through. It is my sister who wants to destroy it for good.
Which one?
Gillinan.
She
Not the
looks
sweet one.
wounded. Tiani looks wounded.
I freed her, hoping that she would aid me in this endeavor. But she retaliated. She's angry with the people of Thedas, with the people of this world, for taking the power the elves once had. And in turn, she wants to destroy them as she returns the people to their rightful place in this world.
Even if I believed you for a second with all the lies that you told, why would anyone trust you to lead anyone after you are the one who released Corypheus on the world?
In my defense, I believed that we would stop him before anything. Well, before any of that all happened, but I miscalculated.
I do want to say when,
Mhm.
because Adelia knows about Corypheus, but doesn't know that Solas was behind that. So when Lila reveals that, there's going to be that like, I'm sorry. I'm fine. As she chokes on her ale. Carry on, Solas. Carry on, Lila. Have fun.
Mhm.
So Tiani didn't know that Solas was the cause of the rifts either.
Mhm.
Yeah, did Bronwyn know that Solus released Corypheus? I don't think she did.
Probably not. No. You would just know
Oh, spadios.
Corypheus in the context of the wardens.
Yeah, I know that.
Mm-hmm.
Lila forgetting that she has all the fucking privileged information.
Well, Ashara would know all this. She's back.
That's true.
And Asira.
Laura
Asira
does
knows all this.
this, and she's just staying quiet. She's just letting him do the talking at the moment.
What?
Digging his own grave.
What possible outcome could you have been hoping for releasing an ancient darkspawn magister?
I will say it's not one of my proudest moments. And I apologize for the pain that it has caused all of you.
Apologize to everyone who died in Haven.
I know that you are hurt, Lila. I know what you've lost. And I am truly sorry.
Sorry does not bring my brother back.
I know that. But I hope you will at least come to trust me when I say that I do want to restore Thedas to what it once was, to a better world, where these sort of things happen less and less.
You would help Thedas the most by disappearing in a forest somewhere and letting us get on with the work of helping people. All you do is hurt people.
You're right. It is all I do. Hence why I was given the name Fen'Harel. But unfortunately, as long as my siblings are out there, Thedas is not safe. I released them, so I must be the one to lock them up once more.
What is your end goal here? Dumb it down for someone who doesn't understand all of this ancient magical shit. What do you
I
want
want
to
the world.
accomplish and how?
I want a world where everyone lives in peace. There's no
Okay,
slavery.
well,
there is no
let's take it
harm.
back one and talk about a reasonable outcome, because we all know that peace is not in the plans for Thetis.
It could be. I've seen it in my dreams.
If your plan had worked, the veil would have fallen without whatever plan you say you have for a second one. I saw
my
the
plan
death and
had
destruction
worked.
that caused.
If my plan would have worked the way it was supposed to, what happened in Haven would not have occurred. The veil would have been torn down in that instant, and a new one would have been built shortly after.
Shortly after,
Within days.
and
I was
how
fully
many
prepared.
thousands or millions would have died in the time that it took you?
I was prepared. You do not understand the workings of magic, or the workings of the Fade. It would have been done, and the people would have been safe.
I know how long you sat with Alana, not knowing what the fuck was happening. So don't tell me that you understand the Fade. Don't tell me that you understand magic so perfectly.
I do feel I have a better understanding than one who's never used it at all.
She's gonna turn to like anyone who's not Diani and just like kind of her voice is probably very grating at this moment and just kind of shriek like, why are we listening to him?
Because he's talking to us.
I mean, I'm really only half listening, so
We can't trust anything that he says, whether it's stupid or whether it's a lie. We'll never know.
as someone who does not know Solas at all, I would like to make an insight check on him.
Yeah, go for it.
Let me actually get my dice out of their little baggie.
Yeah.
13 plus 23. Hello.
So, as far as you can tell, he has not said a single lie. Everything he has said is completely truthful. And whether you believe it or not is up to you.
Yeah, so I've really only been half listening, but I don't know.
And you also get the
He
sense
seems honest
that
to me.
he believes everything he's saying.
Maybe there's more to this that a broken heart couldn't see.
Can I make another constitution check to get out of the hold he has me in?
You're not in a hold. He just took your sword away from you.
Okay. Can I make an attempt to tackle it?
For that, I'll make you roll another constitution
You
check.
fucking weedy bastard.
Diani's gonna try to make eye contact with Shara just to see if she can gauge what it was like outside.
As a 19.
Okay.
I'll sort of, meet your gaze, and I'm just gonna whisper, Templars everywhere.
Does Varric have Bianca out? Does Varric have Bianca?
He doesn't have Bianca at all.
God damn.
She's back in the.
We forgot Bianca!
This man.
I thought I picked up
making
Bianca.
endless. Did you grab her?
I think Delia has Bianca.
Yeah, I thought I did. And I totally forgot about that until now.
He is
But
not holding her right now. He
okay.
probably didn't realize in his sickness haze that she was there.
Yeah, so it's just in his like little room where he was, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And he's just kind of like watching, like back and forth. Occasionally, he'll pull out like a notepad and take notes.
This is great dialogue.
Ashara's gonna kind of cut in from the back and just be like, not saying that I completely believe Solas right now. But as a note, there's a lot of soldiers outside, and they're probably looking for Varric. As a note.
So that would have been something Lally reacted to, but I'm pretty sure time-wise, she's currently running to tackle Solas.
She is running to tackle Solas. So, she is running. However, I rolled a natural 20.
Fuck you.
So he puts his hand up, and again, you're running at him, but your actions begin to slow and slow until you just can't move anymore. And with that, he does push you back a bit before standing you upright and releasing you.
Clay's gonna kind of grab and make sure that she doesn't collapse or anything like that.
Templars have already gone to the alien choice.
I caught half of what you said.
Yeah, I didn't hear that either.
Diani's going to turn to Solas and say that Templars have already been to the alienage once. I was there when...
And I told you why I've come here. They are safe.
She just like sags with relief, like full body size, and just
They're currently on their way to Arlathan as we speak.
thank you.
Is that where you're sending all of the elves?
That's where our camp is.
Diani's gonna look towards Bronwyn with what the message that Bronwyn got, because she doesn't want to share it if Bronwyn doesn't want to.
What else is there?
Who's that to?
To Solas.
Regarding what?
What else is in Arlathan Forest?
Oh. Well, to be quite frank, I chose Arlathan as the place for us to reconvene with our people and become a safe haven. Because of the weapons Andrewel has hidden there.
Which are?
I do not expect you to know the tales, but pulling up my notes. She created in legends a golden bow and a golden spear. And they are the only weapons that I know of that will be able to defeat my siblings. Without them, despite our numbers, I'm afraid it is likely the battle will be lost.
And is she on your side or is she on their side?
Andrew?
Yes.
As far as I know, their side, but I have not been able to establish contact with her.
So you originally said it was just Gillenon that was trying to thwart your plan, but now you've said siblings. So how many are we talking here?
Well, she is the one who freed the others, aside from the group of you freeing Elgernon in Mythal's temple.
And how many is that total?
Let me do some math.
I think it's 7 of them.
Like 7 or
I think it's 7. It's 7 or 8. A good amount.
to play
We
the
at least have 7.
Yeah.
8, no, 8 Kasules. There's
So,
Elvhen Mythal,
and
Andrul,
So he
Earthman, Falandine,
wouldn't
June.
be counting Mythal though because she's dead.
So yeah, so that would,
So
if we
7.
are cutting Mythal, that's 7. If we cut Andrul because we're unsure, that's 6.
yeah.
So in that
So there's
case,
9 gods total.
there are 9 gods total. Yes.
Why would
There are 6. 6 of them.
So to play demon's advocate here, assuming that you're telling the truth, why would they have approached us in the first place? Playing at needing us to free them.
They needed fools to do a fool's errand. You were simply victims of circumstance.
And not the first. You saw the others. We saw the others that were in Mythal's temple.
He speaks true.
So he is a dirt man after all.
Is that what you've been calling him?
Yeah.
I quite like it.
Lila's going to turn to Bronwyn and just ask, do you believe him over Falandine?
I believe that he believes him.
Ashara is
Any
gonna,
of this is the complete truth, Lila.
Ashara's gonna pop in because she has no idea what's wrong with Falandine. What's wrong with Jimmy?
Some sort of Fen'Harel appearing wolves attacked him in the Fade.
Ashara's gonna look at Solas. Just look at him like,
I did not send them, but I also cannot control the Fade. They could be his own demons, for all I know.
And considering the siblings you're mentioning, would any of them have the power?
Of course, they're all powerful mages.
Gillenon has been known to create creatures.
Who were the people we fought in the Fade then?
If you were in the Fade, it is likely they were demons themselves. Unless there's something I'm not quite understanding.
We went to the Black City.
What has been done to Andraste?
Andraste. She died centuries ago, ages ago.
That wasn't Andraste, Lila.
Then what was it?
It was a demon or a darkspawn or a combination of the two.
You entered the Black City.
Yes.
It is likely they are some of our more malevolent cousins.
Explain your family dynamic to us, please.
Well, it's as interesting as any pantheon, I assure you. They're not truly my siblings, but we call each other as such. Well, some of them are truly siblings.
So they were formed or born long ago, long before Andraste.
Yes. It's likely they took certain forms in order to deceive you. The Fade is full of monsters and tricks. It is where the Darkspawn and the Blight originated. They will trick you by any means.
So what now? And I ask this because there's a ton of soldiers outside.
Well, I'm sure that could be fixed with the help of our Viscount. But as for you,
I need to tell the Inquisition.
what did you say? I didn't catch the first part.
I need to tell the Inquisition.
I can tell her.
She just fucking glares. No response, just glares.
I would gladly welcome the Inquisition's aid. If you are willing to give it. I would like to reach out to the Inquisitor myself, but I don't think she would welcome it.
I can't imagine why.
I had cat in my face and now I'm sneezing.
Uh-oh.
No!
What a freeze. What a moment.
Okay. If you think
Get
it will
back.
help,
You're back.
I will read. Oh, I see. My internet connection is unstable, even though I'm on the same internet connection as half the party.
Yes.
Where did I cut out?
When
When
you
I'm
were
middle of
rubbing your
sneeze.
eye,
You had cat in your
Mid
face.
sneeze.
Okay, I didn't actually sneeze. So he says, Lila, if you believe it will help, I will reach out to Alana. I don't think it will be welcome, and I do not wish it to be necessarily. I know I've hurt her. But if it will
Truly
help,
mean that, it would make much more sense to contact Liliana.
you and I both know that Sister Nightingale would not be pleased with my presence.
No, but she's the only one ruthless enough to listen.
Ooh, I like her.
She just glanced over her shoulder very quickly and goes, "You would."
I will see what she has to say. But now I know I do not have your trust necessarily, but I must ask you a favor. And I know I do not deserve it. But these weapons cannot fall into my siblings' hands. If they do, they will truly destroy the veil. Andrew is trying to recover what was once hers. And I do not know her intentions. I have not been able to make contact with her in order to ascertain her plans.
And once we have them, we get to keep them.
Of course. I know that you have the well-being of Thetis in your mind. You are truly a neutral party in this instance. And I regret that you were dragged into this mess, this feud between my siblings and I.
Pop music. Pop music, Christmas carols.
Is that Adri? What is that?
What is that?
Sorry, that was my sister.
Was your sister?
I didn't
Tell her
realize,
we say hi.
I didn't realize I was still unmuted. Sorry about that.
You're good. I just heard Christmas carols.
And while we're off doing this, you'll work to fix the plague here and stop any of these rampant followers you might have.
It's already been taken care of.
Oh, by us? Just now?
It is my reason for being here today.
What took you so long?
Traveling.
He walked.
You were a god traveling and a group of...
How much do you truly know of the Avenurus?
Solas, the fact that you expect us to believe for a moment that you care about anyone but yourself and spirits in the Fade is just laughable. You want me to believe that you care at all about a dwarf warden?
To be fair, she's a dwarf.
I'm a what?
I'm
You're
sorry.
half
I'm
dwarf,
sorry.
half elf.
She's going to
Was
punch
that
him
a slur?
again. I gotta roll it again. I'm sorry. She's gonna try to punch him again.
Yeah.
Bronwyn's just standing here like, no one's ever used this term for, I'm a what?
It's probably not good enough, but that's a 15.
I rolled a 17.
Jesus Christ.
So you go to punch and you just stop midair. He holds his hand up and he like slowly lowers your fist.
Listen, to be fair, whether we trust everything that he says or not, when Lila, you weren't here for this, but when this all began, we were told that we were hunting a weapon for the gods that sent us here. Maybe it's the same weapon that Solas wants us to find now to keep out of their hands. Whether we trust one side or the other, let me finish. Whether we trust one side over the other, isn't it better to have the weapons in your hand than in either of theirs?
She like throws her hands up and like turns and storms away from him to the opposite side of the room and then turns back to Ashara after a moment.
Wouldn't these...
No, I know that you're right, but I don't know how I can stand
doing a favor for him? Don't think of it as a favor for him. Think of it as a favor for Alana, for Cullen, for everyone back at Skyhold.
This
For
isn't for
everyone at
either
Thetis.
party.
We
This
just,
isn't for the other gods. It isn't for Solas.
it's to get these weapons out of anyone's hands. Does it suck that it comes from the dog's mouth? Yes.
We have to think more than one step ahead, though. And I do not see any chance that he's doing this out of the goodness of his heart.
No, he's doing it to keep the weapons out of his sibling's hand. Maybe he plans to steal them from us later. But if we assume that, then we can plan for that.
And these weapons are something that he's going to try and use against his siblings, doesn't that stand to reason that we could use them against him if he tries to fuck with us again?
At this point, Ashara is going to kind of look out the window just to kind of assess what the situation is down on the street, if she can.
Yeah, roll perception.
Dig my dice.
Tiani's gonna turn to Solas and I'm assuming that she's noticed.
Natural 20 plus 6.
Okay, so looking out the window, you see the usual guard patrols and a couple extra patrols of Templars, but nothing too extreme.
Okay.
I'm assuming at this point that she has noticed Asira's battle sleep.
Oh, for sure.
Okay. She's gonna turn to Solas and before we leave, what you told me about the battle sleep. Could you help her?
He looks up at Asira and nods and says, breathe.
I already regret this. I'm so sorry, Hills.
So scary. Like, you mentioned it all, and I was like, oh no. Oh.
He nods and says, I can try. He steps forward towards you, Asira, and holds his hand out to you. Like, there's still like a good few feet between the two of you.
She is hesitant. She hesitates and then she reaches out to take his hand.
Lila's gonna step up and grab his wrist right above where he holds her and just lean in and say, if you hurt her, I will spend the rest of my life hunting you down.
He looks at you and stares you right in the eyes and says, I will hold you to that.
She lets go and steps back. And she fucking turns away. She can't watch this.
He, keeping hold of your hand, Asira, he reaches up and places his other hand on your cheek, reaching up because he's not as tall as you are. Closing his eyes. You feel this warm, tingly sensation across your face. And after a moment, there's a bit of a shock, like when someone just comes up and you get shocked when you touch from the static. And he kind of jolts back a bit and looks up at you. I'm sorry. Gillidan's power has grown. I cannot remove it.
She just kind of nods solemnly and goes, I see.
Diani looks heartbroken.
If it's any consolation, you are the first who is not of elven kind to bear the markings of one of the Evanurists. I only hope that her power will weaken and I will be able to remove it one day.
I would say that I'm honored to be the first, but it's been more of a curse than anything else. So hopefully one day, yes.
I understand. I'm sorry, Sarah.
Lila's gonna step forward and take the hand that Solas presumably dropped.
Asira squeezes it.
Another request, Fen'Harel.
Yes, Warden.
Find Valentin. Tell him everything. He's been kept in the dark. And you took my last family. That's on you. So save this one.
Our siblings do not deem him important.
Someone deemed him important enough if they'd sent wolves after him.
Or maybe they see you as a threat.
Either way.
He needs help, and I can't get to him.
I will do what I can, but my connection to the Fade is waning. Especially if he is in their grasp.
Is there any way we can reach him?
I do not have a key to allow you to enter. I'm afraid the one you had is no longer viable.
Could we reach him if we dreamed?
Perhaps.
Mages enter the Fade in their dreams. Could that work?
Maybe
You do it all the time.
try it. Perhaps. I will try. I will try. It's the least I can do.
If anyone is looking, there's a moment of something kind of snapping for Lila, and she turns and grabs onto Zira and just buries her head on her shoulder and whispers something in her ear, which I will message Seer. But she's not like sobbing, but like it's pretty clear she's crying.
Solas looks over the group of you and says, please, I cannot do this alone. All I ask is that you travel to Arlathan and find these weapons. Keep them out of the hands of my siblings. Keep them away from me if you must. It's the only way we can keep Thedas safe.
I'm going to turn to Varric and ask him what he thinks.
Varric, this whole time, has just been kind of like leaning up against the wall, arms crossed, watching Solas. And he kind of leans over you, Delia, and says, you know, Runner, I think he's telling the truth. Which is crazy considering who we're talking to, but I believe.
Well, that's kind of the vibe I got, but I don't really know the guy. So you do. So with that, she's going to turn back to Solas. All right. This is all too weird for me anyway, so what's one more monkey in the wrench?
Thank you. I will make sure that it is all worth your while.
Will you tell my family that I'm coming?
Of course. And they are safe. And he turns to you, Ashara, and he says, I have a small envoy traveling to Clan Llewellyn. I'm hoping they will be able to convince them to join us in Arlathan.
I already sent them a message to not.
Well, we shall see which arrives first.
Or I can try and send a follow-up message.
Whatever they decide, I hope my people can be convincing.
Just make sure your people that are on their way aren't the extremists that are going to kill them if they choose not to.
Of course not. They were
Because I will pick your heart out myself. And
They
I
were handpicked. Actually, and he turns to Diani, your keeper is one of the ones who volunteered for the journey.
It'll work. Leave that.
I'll give you to Lila myself if they come to harm. I'll hold you down while she cuts you open.
I hope you do. And with that, he turns towards the stairs, walks down.
Wait, sorry.
Yes. You want one more thing?
It's gonna matter. Lila kind of half steps back from Seer and is trying to nonchalantly, she can wipe her eyes and turns and tells him, "You better get me some orders from someone I trust, or I'm not going anywhere."
Be careful what you wish for, Lady Trevelyan. And then he turns, walks down the stairs, and as he's walking, you watch as his form begins to fade before there's nothing there anymore. And we're going to take one more break because I really got to pee. But we got one more thing I want to get to before we end tonight. So, Solas disappears and fades from the tavern, and you are all left there standing in the hallway with Varric after these revelations and the quest that has been given to you by Solas.
At least we finally have a concrete idea of where and what we're doing.
Finally.
That's never been given to us. We've never known that.
Yeah, originally I think it was a vague weapon.
What's that one? She had white hair. She kept appearing and then just disappeared. And whenever we would,
Asharavas.
Yeah, Sharvis.
And we haven't seen her in a nug's age.
Yeah.
Huh?
Oh yeah, you know her.
Yeah. Ashara, is Lila genuinely out of her rage and
Oh, good question. Good question. She was sobbing.
But does it look like she's going to kill Ashara if Ashara is playing?
No. I think a lot of, you can tell that a lot of that anger turned to the tears, and so she's a big notch down from where she was.
So Ashara's gonna look at Lila and just be like, so back when this all started and our gods all led us to one temple, we met this apparition, I guess is the best way to say it. I don't know if she was one of the Evanors or not, but she called herself Asharavas, and she initially kind of pointed us on our way, and it's been a nug's age since she's shown up with her wisdom. But she sort of set this whole thing in motion, at least as far as getting us together and on our way, I suppose.
Clay kind of bitterly goes, yeah, fools to do a fool's errand.
Well, as I was just so kindly reminded, I don't know anything about this magic stuff. So,
Allie, I need you to answer the message I just sent you.
Okay, continue.
Because it pertains to this conversation.
Lila just kind of shrugs and says, been talking far too long. Varric, can we help you get where you need to be?
I mean, that would probably be the best course of action, considering the amount of Templars that are now patrolling Lowtown. Man, I didn't even see this many Templars in Lowtown when Hawk was around. But yeah, I'll take an escort if you're willing to give one.
Wait, did anyone tell Varric about Hawk?
No, Varric.
Oh,
Varric.
yeah.
Hawk's out of the Fade.
That's a good one.
No, I'm not lying, Varric. We rescued Hawk.
He was real depressed.
What do you mean you rescued Hawk?
We went into the Fade.
So when Solas was talking about how we had a key to the Fade, we went into the Fade. The Elvhen god that Bronwyn was talking about, he helped us. We rescued Hawk. Hawk helped us out of the Black City. Hawk's alive.
Varric, I'm sure he'll come here as soon as he knows that the plague is gone.
They haven't been letting anyone in. We had to break into the city, essentially. But Hawk, the Inquisitor, got word that was a possibility, and we took it, and Hawk's back. I shit you not.
You see this myriad of emotions flashing across Varric's face. But the whole time he just stays quiet. He finally looks up at you, Ashara, opens his mouth as if he's gonna speak, closes it, and he just walks down the stairs, walks right out of the tavern.
Lila's booking it right after him. She doesn't let him go anywhere on his own.
Ilya is also going to follow after doing that final chug, set, go.
Oh yeah, and Lila has to pick up her fucking sword.
As she goes, yeah.
Can I roll an insight? Does he seem relieved, or is he angry?
Roll insight.
That's actually not 17.
So he seems just very overwhelmed by this information that you've given him. He had finally come to terms with the fact that he was never going to see his best friend again, and now you're telling him that Hawk is alive and well and in the waking world, and it's just too much for him to handle in that moment. He just walks out.
Okay.
Diani's gonna tug at Ashara's sleeve.
Mm-hmm.
Callie, that was a nat 20 plus whatever my insight is.
Oh, she knows.
She's directing this information out of Ashara, but she's not speaking in Dalish or trying to hide it. The woman who told us about the temple and was giving us all that information, she was the woman who came to get me. She's Gillen.
Yeah, Ashara's just gonna a low string of curses, both Dalish and Common and every other language that she knows.
I'm sorry, until he brought it up, I didn't think about it.
No, I mean, there's no need for you to apologize. Why would she have told you who she was if she was orchestrating all of this? The real question, I suppose, is whose side? Obviously, we know that she's against helping anything. And we don't really know if Solas is for helping or his own cause or whatever. Is Lila in the room, or has she gone off after Varric?
She left as soon as Varric left.
Okay. I know that was important to how the conversation follows. She'll say, I know that Lila doesn't trust him, but all things considered, I'm more inclined to trust him right now than anyone else except for maybe Falandine, and we don't know what's going on with him.
Don't think it makes sense for him to show up right after.
No. And he's helping the alienage, so that wins him points in my view. So
I meant when I said I didn't do anything to hinder what was happening. I just wanted to help the people that I could.
you don't have to explain it to me. I trust you wholeheartedly, and I always will. So
I know how to get to Arlathan. I'm not sure I can get us there. Can you help?
however I can.
She's not tracky at all.
Yeah. The question is how do we help Falandine if we can, on top of everything else? Because I know it's important to Bronwyn, and she's important to you. So that's something else we have to consider.
She's gonna look to Bronwyn.
Have y'all been talking loud enough for?
Oh yeah, we're not.
Oh yeah, she's not trying to hide this. This is for everybody. She would have said it before Lila left, but I needed Callie's answer first.
I don't know how to help him, but we'll do what he asked. We'll go to the forest, and I'll keep, I don't know. Can't call me anymore, so
Figure it out.
The only thing I can think of is that when we sleep, eventually, we try to direct our dreams towards him and see what happens. It's the best we got.
okay.
For now, let's make sure that Varric gets back safe.
Should probably go after Lila.
Yeah, one thing at a time.
I don't think I should go back there.
Do you want to meet us at the cabin?
Do you want me to go with you to the cabin?
You shouldn't go alone.
Didn't hear anything that you just said.
She shakes her head. She says, "No, I don't want to leave you. I'll go, and if I need to leave, I can leave."
We'll hang towards the back, and if things get sketchy, we'll get you out.
Just stick together.
Tiani, can you reach Clan Lavellan?
It has to be someone that I know. I could talk to the Inquisitor.
I feel
If you
like
give me a message, I will.
at the very least, we should warn her that Solas is going to reach out. She doesn't deserve to be blindsided. And we should at least let her know that we know where the elves are going.
Give me a message, and I'll reach out. And if you want to message it to me,
Yeah, I'll, because
that's fine.
it can be what, 25 words?
25 words, unlimited distance, just has to be someone that I'm familiar with.
Okay, I'll type up a message and I can whisper it to you as we walk.
Shall we?
Yeah, we chase after Lila and Varric. Let's go.
And Delia was with me and Varric, right? Yeah.
Is Asira coming?
Yeah, I'm coming.
So who's with Varric right now? There's a lot going on. I just want to clarify what's going on. So just Lila and Delia are with Varric. So Varric had just walked out. Not a word. He walks down the stairs and towards the tavern. And he just basically walks up to the first Templar group he sees. Just kind of stops, looks at them, keeps walking right up the stairs, heading for Hightown.
I'm just gonna follow him.
Same.
And not like trying to like be stealthy, like, like I'm walking with him, but trying to keep up.
Lila's like posted behind, very much like a guard style.
Okay. Because of your presence, Lila, and because of your Inquisition garb, they don't really question it. And seeing Delia with you, they don't question her either. So they just kind of follow behind the three of you as you make your way up into Hightown towards the Viscount's castle. What are the rest of y'all doing? Just hanging out in the tavern?
I believe we are following.
Okay.
We're following behind them.
So yeah, you guys follow behind them. Traveling through Hightown, you make your way to the Viscount's castle. And he, Varric, leads you inside. The Templars kind of part as they reach the top of the stairs that lead up to the Viscount's castle, and let you all just kind of keep going forward, seeing as there's more Templars to guard the entrance here. There's a couple of Templars that kind of open the doors for you and let you all inside. And as you enter, Bran comes running down the stairs, and he's just immediately on Varric, like, holy shit, where have you been? Are you okay? Kind of deal. But Varric just kind of like waves him off and keeps walking further inside.
I catch Bran up to speed.
Okay. And he follows the rest of you as Varric kind of leads you into the main, I don't know what you would call it, the area where you fight the air shock.
The throne room?
The throne room, yes, the throne room. He leads you to the throne room and just takes a seat in the throne, and kind of like just in a lounging sort of way, he throws his leg up over the arm of the chair. So are y'all really going to do what Solas asked?
We're going to do what we need to do. And if that aligns. Wait, we haven't gotten there yet, have we? Are we there?
I assumed he was leading everybody in.
He was leading everyone, yeah.
Okay. I think those weapons will be helpful for us, whether we do with them what he wants us to do with them. It's yet to be seen.
Lila stayed. She's not quite going full like post up behind like a guard while he's on the throne, but she's still staying like she's essentially reverted to her training. So she's like as formal position as she can, like several steps down from him. And she just turns to look up at him and says, I'm doing whatever the Inquisition tells me to do.
Allie, the sending message is in the chat with Allie and you and I.
I see. Our good old chat. It's a good chat to have. But so Varric turns to you and says, do I still count as Inquisition?
I thought you left.
Maybe that's just what I wanted them to think. If it makes you feel any better, I can always reach out to Alana and see what she thinks. Hearing from me, you know she'll respond immediately.
Of course. Don't know how quickly you can make that happen.
I have my ways.
And how quickly you won't respond back.
Again, I have my ways.
I'd prefer to hear from them.
Well, you're more than welcome to stay here, but maybe it would be better if you were to help the man who helped us, the man who helped Kirkwall. I'm sure, as far as I know, at least none of you are adept at medicine and science and all that.
I mean, science, but not medicine, no.
Come on, Tinker. You and I both know that you are a tinkerer and not a scientist.
I mean, I did put an arm on a person.
But you made an arm.
Bronwyn holds
Yeah.
up her arm.
Did you know it was going to work?
I've done it twice.
Twice. That's quite a feat.
There's a little bit of science involved.
All right, I stand corrected. Well, while you're not necessarily adept at medicine,
No.
you still had help, didn't you? And I think I might know who was helping you on the sides. Hawkins.
Hawkins.
I love that man. He knows what he's doing.
He does.
Well, if clearly as you're on good terms with him, let him know I'm willing to give whatever resources he needs to mass create this cure and help Kirkwall. We have the funds to do so.
I will.
Good. Ma'am, she does this thing, like, where she, like, scratches at my door frame, but she's not really scratching. She's just pawing at it, but it sounds like she's
She
scratching.
does it because she wants attention.
She does.
She does the
Oh,
same thing on my frame.
Mm-hmm. She doesn't do it to mine because she ain't allowed in my door frame.
I need that puppy to know that I love it very much.
And she loves you. She loves everyone.
I
She's a
tried,
sweetheart.
tried grabbing Pike so she could say hi, but she hid under the couch.
Oh,
I
she
only did
did.
bow tonight. So yeah, Varric is basically encouraging y'all to go back to the cabin.
Let's go. Let's go. Go. Go.
These Hawkins.
Cough, cough, hint, hint.
Before they all go,
Back there.
Lila is gonna.
I missed all the hints.
Lila is gonna step towards Varric where it really can only be him that hears. Are you sure you don't need us?
Come on, princess. You know I can handle myself. Little sickness won't deter me.
Can she? I'm gonna perception check. Specifically perception because I want to see, does he look, or does it need to be medicine? Does he genuinely look recovered?
Whichever one you think. Whichever one you want.
I think medicine makes more sense here.
Yep.
16.
So yeah, looking at him, you can see that whatever Deanne did initially greatly helped as it woke him up. And she did actually do another spell on the side that helped heal him even more. So he's looking significantly less pale. He looks a little more firm on his feet, a little more sure of himself than he did when he initially woke up.
Does it look like maybe one more spell would just help boost him even more?
That's up to you. You got the spell slots to use. I will not stop you.
I'll look at Lila and be like, would you feel more comfortable following his orders if I just healed him a little bit more?
She kind of looks back and kind of shrugs and nods.
And I'll walk up to Varric on his throne, and I will use my last second level spell to heal him for 10 points.
Okay. So with that, like he like kind of gets an idea of what you're doing, and he's like ready to stop you, but he doesn't really get the chance. As this kind of green glow comes over him, and his face brightens, like his skin is no longer quite as gray and pale as it was, and he just looks a lot more lively just immediately upon receiving this spell.
Do you, Ashara, do you then go back with the others?
Before I do, I'm just going to kind of whisper to Varric and be like, bet you didn't know I could do that. And then she'll back away.
And he looks a little dumbfounded, like he's got nothing to say.
Before Lila starts to turn and follow Ashara, and then she kind of impulsively stops and turns back and grabs Varric's forearm and just leans in and says, please promise me that you'll ask if you need anything.
You know I will, princess.
And she squeezes in, steps back, and then says, if I see Hawk, I'll send him to you.
He goes slightly pale at the mention of Hawk. And this is the only time ever that you've seen him at a loss for words, and he just kind of nods.
She smiles and nods and then turns and heads back to the group. So we're off to cabin?
To the cabin. All right.
Is it easier getting out of the city than it was getting in?
It is a lot easier getting out. Especially now that they have the cure and that
Varric just have them like open the front gates for us, or
basically he just has them open it up because he knows that you're safe, that you've had the cure, that you're not going to further spread the plague to other people. So he has the
Before we leave, I'm gonna pull the 18 vials that I had in my quiver that we had hidden back before we and I'll just set them down on like a table, be like, yeah.
Clay pulls all of the files out of his binder.
And she's just gonna shrug and be like, we didn't know who to trust, so we kept some just in case.
I totally forgot to mention this earlier. When Lila and I left the tavern with Varric, I did grab Bianca. Just
cool. So he has Bianca.
Yeah. I was like, I didn't mention that. And I should have.
So you're all released from the walls of Kirkwall and begin on the trail back towards the cabin of the Hawkins family. When you do arrive, you see smoke coming from the chimney. And you can see just like the outline of Cornelius through the window as he works.
Is the tree still there?
The
I was just
tree
about to
is
ask that.
still in the back.
Cool.
So as you all come around the corner and see the back of the house, the trail kind of comes up from behind. You look towards the tree and you see hair in my mouth. You see an older man standing in front of the tree, just kind of gazing up at it with his hands folded behind his back. Older elven man, tanned skin, graying, curly hair that is shorn very short. And he's just standing there, staring up at the tree with this sort of wry smile on his face.
Bet my left ass cheek, that's June.
I'm not even taking that bet.
You don't want M's whole left ass cheek.
No.
Clay is going to.
I'm going to go ahead and say that Lila C is yet another fucking obviously Elvhen bullshit person and just like goes and walks into the fucking cabin. Like she's fucking done.
Valid. Yeah.
Ashara will approach the elf.
I want to walk up and just like walk up right next to this elf and say, "Nice night for an evening."
Yes, it definitely is a nice night for an evening, isn't it? And you are?
My name's Delia.
Delia, it is a pleasure to meet you. I see that you and your friends have met my son.
Oh, and you are?
My name is June.
I like turn back to Bronwyn and I'm like,
So she's like, called it.
Tell me, I've heard tell of a companion of yours, a young lad by the name of Claymore.
"Oh, I don't know him."
You don't know him? Strange. I was told he lived around these parts for quite some time.
I mean, they definitely aren't living here anymore, and I don't know anyone named Claymore.
If you were looking for Claymore, was there a message?
Can I just step in front of Clay?
Yes, absolutely. Not necessarily a message, more of a thank you of sorts that I'd like to give him in person. And you are?
I'm Ashara. I sort of babysat your son for an evening.
You took care of my son. He reaches forward and takes both of your hands in his own and is just shaking them. Thank you so much, my good dear. Thank you. He is quite a little menace. I'm sure you've discovered. Thank you for
Insight
taking care of
onto
him.
whether he's being genuine or
Would you like to roll insight?
yeah,
Roll insight.
balls. That's a 9.
Can I also roll insight?
He is truly genuine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, as far as Ashara is concerned, yeah, your son was very.
Sylvan can be quite the handful, can't he?
I mean, all kids that age can. I did convince him to stay in the tree form to keep him safe.
I see. Isn't he the most lovely, the loveliest of trees?
He is, and he's guarding something very important for me right now.
Oh, really?
His tree form, yes.
And what is that?
It's just a sentimental trinket, but
Oh, I see.
it's the necklace up there on that branch.
And he looks up and he's like, oh, that's so lovely, isn't it? Yes, he was always fond of trinkets.
Bronwyn kind of pushes to the front, grabs the old man by like the scruff of his shirt and pulls him down. Where's Valentine?
I'm sorry, who are you?
Bronwyn,
You're Bronwyn.
the beheader.
You're shorter than I thought you'd be.
Taller than most.
Why she's the beheader.
I do not know what, I don't understand. What do you mean, where's Valentine? He's in the Fade. Is he not?
He was attacked. The last I spoke to him, he was running for his life, covered in blood.
Attacked by whom?
This is what happens when you cut him off. And you don't keep tabs on your own sibling.
Well, to be fair, he's only my sibling in name. We're not truly related.
Can't you do some of your fancy elven magic and find him?
It's the same magic as any other magic user.
That doesn't answer my question.
I'm sorry. I rarely go into the Fade. I don't know how to find him.
You are the worst
Maybe he's
gods
been
I've ever
attacked.
met. The worst gods I've ever met.
Well, we didn't claim to be gods. The people are the ones that named us as so.
Poor choice on their part.
I agree.
I'm just gonna glance while they're arguing.
She lets go of his shirt.
While his attention was held up by Bronwyn, I'm just gonna peek back at Clay, like to point, like, do you want to meet him?
And you do recognize him.
Yeah. Clay's gonna, while this is happening, Clay's gonna, he brings his arm around Diani's shoulders and kisses her on the cheek, but kind of like walks alongside of her and then glances back at her, but like turns to go and face June as he kind of straightens up from Bronwyn's hold on his scruff. So
She'll stay like 3 steps behind him.
yeah.
He sees you and his face brightens up. He's like, Claymore, my good sir. It's so good to see you again. Thank you. And your friends, of course, for taking care of my son.
It was mostly Ashara and elves who didn't frighten him. So
Who didn't what him?
frighten
Ah,
or piss him off. Either way.
yes, he's quite temperamental, isn't he?
Wonder where he got that from.
His mother, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
His mother created her. Why is my doctor calling me at 6 o'clock on a Sunday night?
Hello.
The only thing they're going to tell me is that my thyroid's fucked up, so. Or that I'm more vitamin D deficient than I thought. There we go, I'm in focus. So, where was I?
We were talking about the kid.
Yeah,
So-
June.
Something about his mother.
Yeah.
Ah, yes, he gets it from his mother. Yes. She created him. And I will say he is among the greatest blessings in my life.
Does Clay know who June's wife is again? I don't remember.
I don't know if he would.
The kid
That's-
told us. The kid told us
Yeah.
who his parents were.
Who was it? I don't remember. That's me.
Silas.
Not
Silas.
Silas. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. So he's like, yeah. I mean, kids are always a blessing. So it's wonderful how well cared for he seems.
That's
And he glances at Ashara.
so you're here to do what exactly?
To speak with my good Sir Claymore, actually.
All right, Willie's here.
He is here.
Speak.
I am.
Dog.
We're kind of in a hurry here, so
It's nearly dusk and you're in a hurry.
yeah. Gods to save when no other gods are there to help.
Clay steps between Bronwyn and June. We just came back from quite a talk where we found out some things. We just were in
How
a
very
hurry.
vague of you.
Yeah,
Because
Yeah.
you guys are any better? She's just
surprisingly
poking
so.
her head around Clay. You guys are any better?
Well, I wanted to come and repay you for your service in taking care of both Sylvan and for aiding us in our endeavors against Fen'Harel.
Of course. It was no trouble taking care of Silas. Sylvan. What is his name again?
Sylvan.
Sylvan. My bad.
It was a little bit of trouble, actually.
It was.
I know
Maybe you could trade
quite
some
a handful.
information for the babysitting that we didn't agree to do.
Well, what kind of information would you like?
Anything.
You're going to be
You
much
tell us
understanding.
nothing. You people give us
I
nothing.
need you to ask me specific questions, Bronwyn.
Does anyone have any specific questions?
Do you have any specific questions?
That wasn't Bronwyn. That was me.
I know.
I have so many questions. It's hard to keep track.
Ask what questions then.
I mean, I'm not there, but can someone please ask which side June is fucking on?
Ashara was going to, but she was waiting to see if Clay was going to do it.
So what is your end goal? You know, you Evanurus or whatever. What is the goal here?
I cannot speak for the entire group of Evanurus, but my goal is to continue my work as a craftsman, and hopefully teach the people better ways of survival.
What do you craft?
Many things. For instance, and he turns to Clay and waves his hand over the shorn sides of his hair, where you can all see the circuitry tattoos that are in there. And he kind of waves his hand across. They start to glow this bright white.
Is it
before
lyrium?
fading.
Is it
It is
lyrium?
white, not blue.
Okay.
Donnie definitely
And-
takes a step towards Clay when he starts glowing.
The pure terror of, is it lyrium? I was like, no.
Bronwyn's axe is out immediately.
They glow bright white before fading again. And he says, hopefully my aid will provide you the protection that you desperately need.
Protection? How? What?
What did you
I
do to
mean,
him?
Did Clay feel anything when that happened, or did he just see
felt
like
a
lights
little bit
appear?
you felt a little bit of a like tingle, and towards the end there was a very slight burn before it immediately dissipated.
So he's just kind of like, protection against what? And he's just kind of like feeling the sides of his face.
Against Tom. So basically what he did, let me pull up your sheet quick because I did add it to your sheet. I'm gonna sneeze again. That is the wrong campaign. Oh, where's my campaign? There it is. It's being done. So basically, you now have the barrier tattoo, which is essentially extra armor. It is a wondrous item that is
Ooh,
attuned to
very
you.
nice.
So I'm just reading the description. Even when you're not wearing armor, you now have an AC of 15 plus your dex. And so now you have better AC like you've been asking me for forever.
I have been asking forever because I thought he was gonna die.
So yeah, you have magic tattoos.
I
that
have magic
give you better
tattoos.
armor.
So as Clay is
Congrats.
as June is kind of like describing this, and Clay was like Clay is understanding it and reacting to it. He is like, you can see he's like, just his shoulders are tensing. It looks almost like a bad reaction at first, but he's just like so fucking like all of the things that he was like, oh, I'm not gonna make it seem like I'm trusting June. Like, I'm not gonna make it seem like I don't trust him anymore. I gotta make sure that he thinks that I trust him still, so that we can keep this charade going long enough for us to get to Arlathan and get the weapons and hide them and stuff like that. All of that's gone. He's just like, how did you make that? How did you make that? How did you put it in a tattoo? I got that tattoo separately from when you like enchanted it. How did you do that? How is that
Bronwyn
possible?
lowers her axe so she sees that Clay is completely fine.
Wouldn't you like to know, Other Boy?
I would like to know, Other Boy. I would love to know. I would love to know. You crafted a protection tattoo. Clay is like completely one single-minded focus of oh my god. You know, aside from June being like an elven god, June is the craftsman of the pantheon, and he's just like, hello. I mean, like, hi.
Hi, I'm June.
And you're June, and you're June, and you're the craftsman, and you just
am.
created a tattoo protection
Yes, I did.
enchantment. Was it an enchantment? Was it
Of sorts.
of
It is
sorts?
an attunement to the ink that is already ingrained in your blood and body. Like Valisline, but at the same time not.
The Valisline is like a bucket of water thrown over Clay, and he's like, oh.
It's not quite like Valisline. It's the same sort of magic, I suppose, but rather than the original purpose of Valisline its only purpose is to provide you protection.
Protection from whom?
Everything.
And Clay does look and see, like, almost unwillingly glances, like pulled against his will practically, he glances at Asira, and he's like, and it's just protection.
It is only protection. Like, your markings, your tattoos are not in any of the forms of any of the gods. And rather than giving you those markings, I have enhanced those that you already have. Therefore, I have no connection to them otherwise.
So Gillanane's not going to be pissed off that you gave him protection from her?
Why would she be upset about that? There's only protection in order to provide you better means to complete your task.
Can the tattoos that are given by the god be modified? Like, if you were to give me protection and I found a rune that would add to it, could I add to it? Is that a thing?
I've never tried. Perhaps you could experiment.
Does the god need to be willing? You obviously would let me experiment.
Well, runes are more of a dwarvish nature rather than the elven Valisline. So I do not think that they would have quite the similar property as you are thinking.
Right. And I would not, but I can't work in anything. The only thing I can work in is circuitry.
You have access to magic users.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. And
the least I can do for you helping keep my son safe.
Of course, of course. Thank you.
Of course.
And Clay's going to step back and kind of glance at Diani first, and then Ashara.
Yeah, and he's gonna hold her hand out for him.
He's gonna take it.
Well, she's gonna check and make sure that his face is still blank. She's a little paranoid. I would like to cast detect magic, but it has vocal.
But it has what?
It has a vocal element, so that will wait.
Oh, I see. Okay. So June bestows this magic upon Clay. And turns to the tree. And he extends his hand out, holding it out to the tree. And the tree kind of wavers in its form before it begins to shrink. Its limbs and branches begin to shrink in until there's only two. And they curl in on itself, and after a moment, you see little Sylvan kind of curled up in a ball sitting on the ground. He looks up at June with this big smile on his face, and he says, "You found me." And June just kind of chuckles and shakes his head and keeps holding his hand out. And Sylvan takes his hand and goes up next to him, and he's just kind of sucking out his thumb.
Ashara can't help but like reach out and ruffle his hair because he's a kid and he's adorable.
And June looks up at, or Sylvan looks up at you and just kind of smiles. And he's like, and he says, "Thank you.
Thank you for watching my necklace."
It's very pretty."
She's gonna hold her hand out for it.
And he gives it back. And he says, "I wish we could play more sometime."
Maybe when our job is done, you and I can play.
Is that a promise? Pinky promise.
She will hold out her pinky and promise and say, "Okay, but you have to be good."
A promise. A pinky promise.
Okay, a pinky promise.
Okay. And he looks up at his dad. He says, "She pinky promised." And June says, "Yes, I know." And he just kind of holds on to Sylvan's hand and looks over the group of you and says, "I know you have your opinions of us, but I promise." And he looks down at Sylvan and says, "I just want a better future for him."
And what does that future look like?
Bright and beautiful, I hope.
Any next steps, oh great Elvhen Pantheon member?
My only concern is keeping my son safe.
Insight check.
So, no instruction at all. No, here's what we want you to do next, even though we were recruited by you and were told that you had a task for us, but you never actually have any like direction to give to us at all.
I rolled a 21 for reference.
Did Asharavis not give you another task?
No.
Her task was vague.
Yes, she tends to be. Unfortunately, she's a little new to the whole Evanurus thing. But with what'd you roll again?
I rolled a 21.
And you're
I
rolling
rolled a
to find out-
29.
I was basically whether he was in this now just to protect his son or if he has ulterior motives.
As far as you can tell, he just wants to protect his son.
I'm trying to figure out what he's been told that we're doing. Like the surprise that he showed when he found out we don't know what we're doing.
He's genuinely surprised. Like everything that you're sensing from him is genuine.
Would you like to enlighten us if you thought we were doing something specific? What was that?
I thought you were sent for the weapons. For Angela's weapons. She
In general,
not been
we're
able to
supposed
access
to be
them.
finding a weapon, but no one has told us where that was, how to get to it. Just there are weapons.
Arlathan Forest, of course.
Any
Of course.
It's
Yes.
a forest. You wouldn't happen to know a general place to start.
Well,
Besides trees.
of course, there are many trees in Arlathan Forest. But what many people do not know, as they fear the people who live there currently, is there is a small mountain range within the forest. And within that There's a cave. Andrew has misplaced this cave, unfortunately. It's, well,
How do you
she
misplace
enchanted
a cave?
it. What'd you say?
How do you misplace a cave? It's rock. It's stone.
Andrew enchanted it. I never said she was the brightest of magic users, but she enchanted it and it moves, making it more difficult for anyone to stumble across it. Therefore, we have struggled greatly over the years to find it.
So, are we just supposed to track it for her? Or are we, is there a reason why? You can see Ashara try and, because she's struggling to talk, and she tries to gather her thoughts. Are we the trackers of this cave? Or is there a bigger reason as to why mortals essentially have to collect the weapons? Is she prohibited from entering this cave? Is there a reason why it's just mortals? Or are we just extra hands, as it were?
She has warded it against the other members of the Evanurus, purely because she did not want any one of us to become powerful enough to destroy the others. And I think that was quite wise of her.
I'll admit.
Now we are in need of those weapons. And we can't make them.
Have you actually spoken to her?
Of course. She is my sister.
And what will she do with these weapons?
Well, I do not think she intends to wield them herself. At least not both of them at once. If we are able to procure them, we will be able to stop Fen'Harel from destroying the Veil and, of course, taking over Thedas.
Wait, Callie, clarification, because there's a lot of she's. When he says she, does he mean Andruel or does he mean Gilladine?
He means Andruel.
Okay, thank you. I just want to clarify because that's who I meant, but...
Yes, he's talking about Andruel.
One last favor to ask of you. If you see her, tell her I'd like to talk to her.
I will do this. If she is able, of course. I'm sure she will reach out.
And I'll just ruffle Sylvan's hair one more time.
And he giggles.
She'll look at him and be like, remember, you have to be good.
I promised.
Okay.
Only if you keep your promise.
I'll keep my promise. We'll play hide and seek again.
You better. I'm gonna beat you. You'll never find me.
I have no doubt, but I'll do my best to try.
You better. No one is good at hide and seek anymore.
I don't know, I'm pretty good.
I know you are. If no one else has anything pressing they would like to ask. June, still holding on to Sylvan's hand, leads him into the forest, and the two of them disappear from sight. So, Lila, while all that's happening outside, what are you doing?
Can I just say crying? I don't know.
You could be, because inside the cabin is just Cornelius. You only see Cornelius. Ella is still kind of back in her bed, still resting and trying to recover from the illness that she is suffering from.
No, I guess she'll take a moment of just kind of like, oh my God, but then go to Cornelius and just try to update him, tell him that that Varric's awake. Varric seems to be in control of the city again. They brought the cure in. if nothing disastrous happens, things should be on their way back up. She's not going to share any of what they're doing next yet because she doesn't know what the fuck she's doing. So
Yeah. So at this point, Cornelius comes over to you and he's carrying like a hefty bowl of stew and he hands it to you. Says, "Eat up, my dear. You are going to need your strength for the journey ahead, I'm sure."
Can I insight check?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And it's the grossest stew you've ever eaten.
It is not okay.
The leftovers of what Ashara cooked the day before.
Which is probably worse because that had dirt in it.
Well, I'm rolling like shit, so that's an 11. So I assume I'm just like, yeah, cool, food.
You see it and you look at this bowl of stew in your hands, you're like, oh yeah, this looks really good. You eat it and you are surprised by how incredible this stew tastes. It is one of the greatest things you've ever consumed on this earth.
Well, that's nice.
Ruh-roh.
She's like,
It reminds you of being back home in Ostwick. Like, it's that good.
she definitely like gets a little bit teary. It's just like it's been a fucking day.
It like reminds you of something that your mom would have made you when you were feeling sick as a kid.
Yeah, and she has that memory, and then she's like, shit, I have to figure out where my mom is. So have the gates been open? Like they opened them for us, but they weren't like open letting
They're
anyone.
still closed off just because they're still distributing the serum to the people.
Yeah. So she pauses for a second and is like, oh, shit, I have to go find her. But it's getting dark, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming I didn't see her inside the Viscount's palace when we took.
You
there.
probably got like a glimpse of her, but she definitely did not see you.
Okay, but I saw her there though. She's back since I presume she evacuated with the whole abomination thing.
Yeah, she was definitely taken to a safe place.
Okay. Yeah, she's gonna like sigh and then like scarf down the rest of it. Thank Cornelius and then be like, I forgot something in the city. What time? Like dusk? Like, can she get back to the city?
It's definitely like on the later side of getting dark.
Okay. So she's gonna head outside and kind of generally speak to I think at this point, she's probably saying almost everything she says, like to Ashara / Clay, and just trying to avoid the elephant in the room that is Bronwyn and Diani for her right now. And just say, I just realized something. I know it's probably, I'm assuming at this point when she comes out, like, they're fucking gone. Like, she has no idea there was any, like, she knows they were there because she saw them, but they're gone. She doesn't have to deal with.
Yeah.
Okay. She's just going to kind of try to pretend that never fucking happened. Just say, I just realized that I should not go anywhere without checking on my mother's welfare first. I'm assuming it's too late for us to, or even just me, to head back into the city.
I'm asking this legitimately, I'm not trying to stir the pot. Do you want to see your mother face to face? Or do you want a message sent? And would you trust a message from your mother?
I think the issue is that she will be extremely angry with me if after everything that happened, which I'm sure she's already heard some of and will hear all of the rest of, if I don't at least show her that I'm all right before I go anywhere. And I'd rather not have that reckoning waiting for me the next time I go home.
Well, if it's getting into the city tonight that you're after, Kirkwall's not the safest place, but I can get you in.
She would be in the Viscount's keep. Is it?
It might be better to wait until morning.
I'm sure she's safe. She can take care of herself, but also
Seemed like a formidable woman. I did meet her.
I'm sure that was interesting.
I don't know how offensive it would be to say I can see where you get some of your strength. But in a good way?
I appreciate that as much as my mother and I have our disagreements. I always have admired her.
She seems sensible, so I have no doubt that when the meeting started, she went the opposite direction.
Sensible is definitely a word for her. Yes, I'm sure I'm concerned for her safety in the way that I always am, but if push came to shove, she can defend herself, and I'm sure she was the first to get out of danger and lead others away. That makes sense. We can wait till morning. I'm assuming we wouldn't be going anywhere until morning anyways. I know I will not be, but Ashara.
Go ahead.
I don't think you'll have an answer for me for this question, but do the orders that come through matter for you?
And she hesitates. I suppose it would depend on the orders. Like, if the orders were to return to Skyhold and regroup, I would maybe give it a shot. But if the orders were to cease and desist entirely, then I would disregard them. Not to knowing what we know now, knowing that we're actually searching for something, I don't think it should be in either side's hand. I don't think the weapon should go to Solas. I don't think the weapon should go to the Ebenors. I do think that we should get them. So I suppose it depends on the orders. If the orders are that our mission is over, then I'll continue the hunt myself. But if you're wondering if I'm on a side, and I know this sounds selfish, but I'm on my side. And my side is making sure that no side gets these weapons.
If we find them, would you help us destroy them?
If we could. You're talking about two weapons made by a god who supposedly, according to legend, was able to hunt in the void.
Even the orb was destroyed.
This is true. It took a lot of power to do it. But yes, if you're asking, if we could find a way to destroy it, yes. Because clearly, no matter what their intentions are on either side, good intentions, bad intentions, Solas had good intentions when he used that orb. And it fucked the world. So, yeah.
Clay raising his hand.
Is Clay still here and hearing this?
Yeah, she didn't take a shard to the side or anything.
Okay. Clay's like, should we destroy the weapons though? I mean, they're incredibly powerful and they can be used to keep entities like this in check.
I think if I've learned one thing from Solas, it's that no matter how much you want to be a protector of a certain group, If you are given too much power, you will stop being a protector.
I have a question for you, Lila. Do the orders matter to you?
Do the orders matter to me?
In context of what we just discussed, if the Inquisitor ordered you to go back to Skyhold and leave the weapons, leave the hunting, would you go back?
I would go back and ask what they're thinking. That doesn't seem within any of their characters to leave something like that laying around anywhere.
Then I guess my question is do we wait for orders, or do we continue towards the forest and let the orders find us?
Have I gotten a message back yet?
From
The Inquisitor?
Inquisitor?
No?
no.
I trust every one of the leaders of the Inquisition with my life. I do not feel comfortable acting on information that we have received from Solas without having some kind of understanding that Leliana at least thinks it's possibly true. I don't trust my judgment more than hers, not when it comes to things like this.
For what it's worth, and it's probably not worth nug shit to you, but I think there was some semblance of truth to what he said, if only because June kind of corroborated a little bit of it, I suppose.
I'm not sure I want to know all the details of what you just heard, but
just that the weapons are in Arlathan Forest, that neither side can find them, and that the location they're at is currently warded against any of them getting into it, except for maybe Andrew, but she can't find it at the moment. And that kind of tracks with what Solas was saying.
she nods and then
It's sort of
whoops. So she's gonna kind of whirl around too. I'm assuming Bronwyn and Diani are like still kind of in this circle of people. Yes. And yeah, she's gonna kind of whirl around towards them, specifically locking eyes with Diani, and say, "And what about you? Are you gonna hand him the weapons if we find them?"
No, I think they do more harm than good.
What if he asks? What if he tells you this can end things? If you hand him those weapons?
I do have my own brain.
You can see her biting back like something nasty.
Told you I'm not here for him. I'm here for them. I don't think that those weapons are going to help anybody.
And you understand why I don't trust you?
Of course. You should know that it was Gilliman who reached out to me and orchestrated all of this way back in the beginning.
I don't understand. Why?
Hello. I had remarks. If he's to be believed, then this is all her doing, and either way,
She like
we've been
rubs her
weapons.
temple, clearly like just so fucking over this day. I don't know how to travel with people who I don't trust and who don't trust me.
Trust me to do my job. I'm a healer first. I won't let you die. I didn't let the Templar die.
She nods. And kind of, I'm assuming Bronwyn's right next to her and kind of shifts gaze over to Bronwyn. Why are you willing to travel with me if you don't trust me?
Because you're part of the family, Lila.
What family, Bronwyn? What family? You think I'd hurt Clay?
I think you and I have a different experience of what having a family is like. Yeah. Family push each other around. They don't always agree. They fight. But they care for each other. And as much as you don't think that we want you around, we do care for you.
Your actions today certainly don't fit with any of that.
Some of my actions today I would take back if I could, Lila.
Bronwyn, I trust you on the battlefield, and I trust you to handle warden business. And I trust you with Darkspawn. Why can't you trust me with what I do best?
I should have trusted you. I fucked up today. I watched 2 of our friends die because of it.
Yeah. I appreciate the admission. This has been a catastrophically long day. I think we should all get some rest.
Rest sounds good. I'm tired as shit.
Is there any food in there? She looks towards the cabin.
Actually, There is a shockingly good stew in there.
Clay looks up at that. Huh?
Bronwyn's on her way. She's gone. Very hungry.
Who learned how
I
to
can't
cook?
wait to put
Who
some
cooks?
sort in that
Who cooked
soup.
good stew in that cabin?
I don't know what to tell you, but it was delicious.
Ashara sort of looks at Clay like, do either of the men in there know how to cook?
I think that Will kind of. I mean, like I've had his food. It's not.
Go look at Lila. Like, how good was the stew? Because if it was good, it wasn't me.
It reminded me of home.
What? Clay would like to investigate. Of home?
I'm waiting for like Lila's mom to be in the back room somewhere.
Oh my god,
No. So you all kind of trickle back into the cabin and procure your own bowls of stew, and it is the most delicious stew you've
Well,
ever.
hold on. I would like to know who cooked it.
Roll insight.
Can I assist?
June
Sure.
Can I assist?
You don't need to assist.
Because
It was a natural 20.
I'm commenting on
So,
the flavors as I take
With
the
a
bite.
natural 20, you are able to discern that this is one of Ella's personal recipes.
Oh.
What did you think it was, Bree?
I didn't know. I just wanted to know what was going on because there's no good stew in that fucking household.
I'm gonna be honest, when I was first like rolling inside, I was like, is this not Cornelius?
Cornelius did make it, but it is Ella's recipe.
Oh, okay.
Followed it to a T.
Clay takes
It's
like
the most exquisite thing you've ever consumed, all of you. Like, it is so fucking good. You were immediately brought back to like childhood when your mom would make you soup as a kid.
Bronwyn is baffled by the taste.
It does
I've
remind
never
you of
tasted
Crunch.
anything.
It reminds you of Crunch.
It reminds me of Crunch. Crunch takes a deep stalker, bangs its head into a wall, and puts it on a spit.
Yeah, and it reminds you of that.
Amazing.
But it tastes really good.
Clay takes a sip of it and he immediately like he almost tears up. He's like, oh shit, oh god, oh fuck. It's really good though.
All right, so as you guys are all convening around the campfire, consuming your delicious stew, that is where we're going to end session, and we will pick it up next time.